What a crazy Thursday night in the NBA. On Aaron Gordon legacy game back in his Bay Area hometown, the Warriors stormed back late in the fourth and pulled off an overtime win against a contending Denver Nuggets team. I want to highlight what I thought were key possessions in crunch time and overtime, how Steph Curry took over offensively, and how the Warriors executed on the defensive end to get key stops and seal an insane win. So let's slow the game and break it all down. After Aaron Gordon made his 8th or 9th three, the Warriors called timeout and were down 7 with 3 minutes left. Steph gets fouled and makes a couple free throws, but we know Denver is excellent with late game execution. Jamal Murray fakes a set of back screen, but the real action is actually the down screen set by Gordon for the Nuggets to run their pristine two-man action with Murray and Jokic. Golden State is playing straight up here, with Kuminga chasing for his life after this Jokic dribble handoff also acts as a pick. Al Horford uses brilliant basketball IQ to stay level of the screen, and is still mobile enough at 40 years old to trap Murray. Horford tries his best and slides his feet well enough to force him to take a longer route dribbling along the sideline, and Jimmy stunts off the strong side one pass away, and this makes Murray pick up his dribble. The Warriors are able to coerce Murray into a tough off-leg layup with Horford contesting from behind, and get a fantastic stop and rebound. I'm never going to lose appreciation for my GOAT Steph Curry's ability to take over a game. Steph and Draymond ran crucial two-man actions in the clutch, and this was the first example. Kuminga drives baseline and shows his patience here. He's got 2 Nuggets shielding the baseline and does not force a pull-up midi, but finds an open man in Draymond Green. The slow-footed big man Jokic is in a drop coverage, and Brown is in a deny on Steph, but this deny is just not strong enough to force Curry to back cut, so he's able to read Jokic's position and come up a classic dribble handoff by Dre. Curry knows he's able to come off the screen with a clean look, but also feels Brown's natural instincts of chasing from behind, so he gets a handoff and stops in his tracks right away to get the body bump into 3 free throws. Veteran move by the superstar. We all know what was coming here. Golden State has feasted for more than a decade in attacking the opposing big man in the clutch by running the Steph-Dre two-man game on the perimeter. Dre's first screen is near the logo level, and Denver does not need to switch. Brown is fighting for his life to stay on Steph, so Curry negates his momentum by dribbling behind the back into another re-screen by Green, catching Jokic nearly on the opposite side of the pick. Now Steph has the entire middle of the floor to attack, and with Jokic in a drop and Brown too far behind, it's an obvious couple dribbles into a pull-up. He's him. With the game tied, I want to slow down Steve Kerr's brilliant defensive game plan. Murray has the ball up top in a matchup he likes on Horford. Denver completely collapses here with 0 movement or two-man action, which allows Steph to sit on the perimeter on Jokic. On the strong side and due to poor spacing, Kuminga has Brown and Jimmy is able to cover both the dunker spot and the corner shooter. This allows Horford to shade Jamal Murray towards using his right hand, where Draymond Green is sitting in the paint as another body to shade. Murray goes into his dribbling bag with the shot clock winding down, but shout out Horford's quick feet stay in front, which gives Draymond the opportunity to come help at the very last second when he gets beat. Murray cannot drive all the way to the rim because of this and is forced into a tough off-balance fadeaway that is short. Warriors get a crucial stop. With Gordon hitting his 9th three of the night, the Warriors have to go for a three-pointer. This was obviously the play of the night. On an out-of-bounds play, they keep it simple. Inbound to Draymond and everyone clear out the way so they can get a two-man game with Steph and Dre. I am not the Nuggets coach, but leaving Jokic out there on the last defensive possession of the game is criminal, especially when you know the dubs were going to go to. Steph comes from the backcourt to read both Jamal and Jokic's positions. He goes to the right for a handoff, but counters Murray's momentum by using Draymond's rescreen to find Jokic in a drop coverage. Again, this is not a drop coverage for 99.999% of human beings, but bad defensive IQ by Jokic here, knowing they can live with a 2, but not a 3-pointer. Steph pulls up from 32 feet, and I've never seen anybody like him before. On the last possession, look at this all-defensive tall lineup with GB2, Kuminga, Butler, Green, and Horford. Murray and Jokic, you run their standard two-man action, where Jokic slips the screen a little early, forcing Horford to run out and trap. The Warriors do a great job collapsing on Murray just long enough, forcing him to pick up his dribble and giving Draymond just enough time to leave the double team and peel off to switch back to Jokic. The Nuggets MVP turns over his left shoulder into an advantageous spot with a smaller defender, but Green keeps his hands just straightened up enough to bother this floater we've seen him make time and time again. Golden State gets a stop. In overtime, we got some great defensive possessions. Jokic has a mismatch in the post with Kuminga, but Draymond only comes a double at the last minute, pointing for Steph to make the next rotation, knowing Gordon has hit like 10 threes already. Kick out, and the Warriors deny another entry pass back to Jokic, forcing Gordon to look towards the weak side. Now Jimmy is responsible for the 2 weak side nuggets, but even on the screen by Brown, Butler does a great job running out to contest Cam Johnson, who is freezing cold in his Denver debut. Incredible job here, forcing a low percentage shot, and they get another rebound. Let's keep attacking Jokic on off-ball screens. Butler runs a chase action with Horford and Denver plays straight up, but the real play is Horford running to set a down screen for Steph. With Brown on the low side, this gives Curry the opportunity to sprint to the perimeter and catch Jokic in a drop coverage. Wide open catch and shoot. This was the reason they got Al Horford in the offseason. Horford has had a borderline Hall of Fame career. His ability to guard bigs and stretch the floor in the Western Conference will be vital to the Warriors' late game execution. Jimmy gets a step on Gordon, and again, Jokic is wired to help in the paint, but I bet he's not used to having to close out to the corner shooter, and this is where Horford's three-point shot is invaluable. The fact Golden State is able to close out games with a bigger lineup speaks volumes, and I'm super happy about it. A bigger JK has the on-ball responsibility of Murray, and Denver comes to run a pick and roll with Brown. The Warriors have a key philosophy that whenever the pick is set too close to the sideline, the screen defender Draymond sprints up to trap the ball handler. Now with 2 huge guys onto Murray, this pressures him to make a lazy pass behind Cam Johnson. Steph is able to play this correctly to tip a steal, and JK does the rest on the fast break, another enormous stop into a basket. Here's my favorite defensive highlight of the night. Another Murray-Jokic pick and roll, and Denver gets the switch they want. While Jokic is fighting to get prime post position, Kuminga calls for the peel switch to get a better defensive matchup and get Steph Curry off the big man. With Draymond Green standing in the dunker spot, Jokic decides to go right and in to help. Kuminga keeps his hands straight up, and the two bother him just enough to push him off balance and into a tougher pass or fadeaway here, and Golden State get another crucial stop. There you guys have it. What looked like a tough late deficit to come back from, the Warriors rallied by executing on both sides down the stretch. It was none other than Steph Curry who opened the home opener with 42 points, including 16 straight at one point, dissecting the Nuggets defense by consistently running 2-man actions with Draymond Green to get wide open looks. The rest of the Warriors contributed as well, especially on the defensive end with timely double teams and disciplined rotations, forcing the Nuggets into lower percentage shots and securing key stops. It was comforting to see a much bigger defensive lineup close out the game against traditional opposing lineups, a contrast to the last couple years where Golden State would often get bullied with no resistance. From Kuminga to Jimmy to Horford, the Warriors played as a full team to earn this impressive win. Now on to a back-to-back against the Blazers, so if you guys like this type of breakdowns, like and subscribe to see more.